How's everyone doing tonight? I just finished watching. I just watched NXT, but right now I am here to talk about Chris Benoit and what he destroyed with what he did with killing his whole family. With it, what he destroyed because him killing his family, there has not been a mention of Chris Benoit since. Like Vince McMahon said that there will not be no more mention of Mr. Benoit. Well, Chris Benoit was a great technical wrestler, like Eddie Guerrero and Chris Jericho and Dean Malenko, because he had to wrestle international as well to get to where he got. But he messed up because he did so many great things in ECW, WCW, and WWE. And because he did a whole lot of things. He held the Intercontinental title, United States title, World Tag Team, WWE Tag Team, and World Heavyweight. And he won the Royal Rumble at number one. And in 2004 was his year because he won the Royal Rumble. Because the previous year in 2003 he had a losing streak when it came to title matches. But it also turns out that he was also having problems outside the ring with his wife and son. When it came to title matches in 2003, he failed. He didn't win the WWE Championship or United States or WWE Tag Team. He failed at capturing any of those titles in 2003. But he also made history because he won the Royal Rumble 9 years after he won the Royal Rumble at number one 9 years after Shawn Michaels. And then he won the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania, and he's also the only one to have done that, to have jumped to the other brand from SmackDown to Raw after he won it, because he went to Raw. He was the only one to ever do that, because anybody else that won the Royal Rumble before or after, they chose their brand's title. He's the only one to have ever done that. But and then at WrestleMania, he beat both Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and he was the first one to end a WrestleMania by submission. That was the first time that ever happened with Chris Benoit. And then Eddie Guerrero came out to the ring to celebrate with him. Eddie Guerrero was holding the WWE Championship and Chris Benoit the World Heavyweight Championship. And then after that, after the whole thing that happened with Chris Benoit, after that they show Eddie Guerrero. They only show Eddie Guerrero and they block Chris Benoit out for what happened. And I'm all like, and that was Chris Benoit's match. That was Chris Benoit's moment right there, not Eddie Guerrero's. And Chris Benoit and Randy Orton beat Chris Benoit for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship to become the youngest world champion, and there's no mention of that. And Chris Benoit also held and then Chris Benoit from 2005 to 2006, and 2007, he held the United States title. But then when he was drafted to ECW in 2007, he was going to beat CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title, for the ECW title, and win his second world title. But he wasn't just gonna do that. He was also gonna be a trainer for the younger wrestlers on ECW. He had two salaries right there, as a wrestler and as a trainer. And at that time, he had also just opened his wrestling school. And then after that, he did what he did. But I honestly thought that when I heard that Chris Benoit and his wife and son had been murdered, when I heard that they had been dead, I did think that somebody had murdered them when I first heard about it. But then the next night, we find out that and then for that, they canceled the whole Raw show and just paid tribute to Chris Benoit. But there were no matches. They just canceled the show and talked about only Chris Benoit. But then the next night, which was supposed to continue the tribute show to Chris Benoit on SmackDown, ECW and SmackDown, is when Vince McMahon said what was unknown about Chris Benoit, and then from that moment on, he said that there would be no more mention of him. And then because of that, Chris Benoit will never be in the Hall of Fame, and he'll never be in the Hall of Fame, and his oldest, and since that time he has been blocked out. But it was on the WWE network where they decided not to block him out anymore, and they said that they were gonna show him because there was a whole lot that they'd have to delete if they did. So that's the whole reason why they show him on the WWE network. But I guess I think that it's personally sad what Chris Benoit did, because he was a great wrestler, and he even said that he would see Eddie Guerrero in heaven. So, and we all know that that didn't happen, and it's not gonna happen because of what he did, and for that, there's a whole lot of stuff that happened that were big and are not be mentioned anymore.